right, today we're going to talk about types of unemployment, specifically frictional, structural, and cyclical unemployment, and how do they impact the economy. So, the first one we want to talk about is frictional unemployment. This is your typical between job unemployment. It's a normal part of a healthy economy. We're always going to have people that are joining the workforce and looking for their first jobs. We're always going to have people in between jobs. This is going to consist of search unemployment, people looking for jobs, and wait unemployment, those people that know jobs are coming in the future and they're just waiting for them. So there are several reasons that we have frictional unemployment. First one's job change. A lot of people leave jobs voluntarily to find a better job. Other people get fired and they're looking for a new job, but regardless of the reason, there's that normal in between jobs where people are trying to find new or better jobs. Uh, Second one is temporary retooling. Sometimes factories have to close temporarily to change out machinery for new machinery. And when that happens, those people are considered frictionally unemployed for the time that the factory is closed. First job, people graduating from high school or college looking for that first job. And then people returning to the labor force, people that have stayed home to take care of small children or stay home to take care of their elderly parents, when they get back to the workforce and start looking for a job again, they're considered frictionally unemployed. Now, this is not due to a shortage of jobs. All these people have skills needed, jobs exist, they just have to find them. And finding the right job takes a little bit of time. When these people find jobs, they're going to be replaced by others in the frictional unemployment. There's always going to be newly unemployed workers. Typically, with frictional unemployment, these people do not stay in the unemployment pool for long. When the economy is strong, most people are finding a job within a couple weeks to a couple months. This type of unemployment is somewhat desirable. Typically, when people are voluntarily in between jobs, when they're looking to leave their job for a new job, it's more than likely to get a higher paying, higher productivity job, which is good for the overall economy. This means we're going to get people into the jobs that they are best suited for. We're going to get the most productivity out of them. So, because this is somewhat desirable, the government's not going to take any actions to stop this sort of unemployment. The second type is structural unemployment. This is unemployment that's caused by a change in the structure of the economy. A lot of this that we see has to do with changes in technology, and it can also be the demand for labor as far as geography is concerned. So, first off, occupational changes in demand for labor. You can see over the course of time, we used to be a primarily agriculture economy, and once we moved from farming to manufacturing in the Industrial Revolution, there became much more demand for workers in the factories. And this increased our productivity. Uh, we didn't need as many agriculture workers, we need more manufacturer workers. And now you can see into the 90s uh, that manufacturing's been replaced by a lot of services. So the idea is the change in the economy causes a change in the skills that workers need. So when their skills no longer match the skills that are needed, they are considered structurally unemployed. This is a little bit more serious than frictional unemployment because, in order for these people to get jobs, something's going to happen as far as education and training. They are going to have to increase their skills because the skills that they did have became obsolete. Here you can see the idea of this is an auto factory. Most of the assembly line jobs that once needed people have been replaced by automated robots. Here's kind of the joke. There are a couple videos there you can watch. Another reason for this is geographical changes in the demand for labor. Um, Unemployment opportunities have moved from the snow belt to the sun belt. Um, and especially you can see kind of in California, where a lot of technology is based in Silicon Valley and whatnot. They've had a huge increase in unemployment opportunities. But if you live in North Dakota and we've moved way away from farming, that's not great for you. So there might be jobs that exist, but in order for you to get them, you're going to have to relocate. We've also seen jobs move from inner city factories to more suburban industrial parks. And as the opportunities shift, some people become structurally unemployed. That mismatch between location of the unemployment and the job opening. Frictional versus structural. Frictional unemployment is basically unemployment that really comes from choice. People deciding to leave jobs, people entering the labor market for the first time. Structural unemployment becomes a little bit more serious because people need more education or training or geographic relocation in order to get a job. So frictional is pretty short term, structural is a little more long term, and does tend to be more serious. However, they're both a normal part of a healthy economy. What is not a part of a normal healthy economy is what we call cyclical unemployment. This is unemployment that's caused by a decline in total spending. People aren't spending money, and when people aren't spending money, places like Target don't need as many workers, and those workers start to lose their jobs, and then they're not spending as much money because they're not making as much income, and when they're not spending money, more people lose their jobs, and you get into this spiral. This is totally caused by an economic decline. We're in the contractionary phase of the business cycle. There's not enough demand for goods and services. Best example, we saw this in the Great Depression. We had 25% unemployment, and it really was because people weren't buying things. Most workers are not going to be rehired until the economy improves. And even then, it'll take a while for that to happen. Like I said before, in the Great Depression, it took 10 years to return to the previous level of GDP. So the previous level of production, it took a decade to get back to where they were before the Great Depression happened. So this is going to take time. And the government is going to get involved in this. They're going to do things like reduce taxes, increase government spending, or reducing interest rates to try to get people to spend. We're seeing this right now during coronavirus here. The government is worried that people aren't spending money. So they are talking about giving a tax rebate check to most Americans to give them money so that they can go out and spend. They're increasing their own spending by a lot. You can see the new bills. And the Federal Reserve has reduced interest rates to almost zero to promote businesses and individuals to take loans. They also will create job training programs to upgrade workers' skills, retrain workers, get them what they need. The government also provides unemployment insurance. That's part of the bills right now, is increasing unemployment insurance, um, which is weekly payments to workers who lose their job through no fault of their own. So here's just a couple quick questions. Is it frictional, structural, or cyclical? A recent college graduate seeking their first job? That's going to be frictional. An operator is laid off when the phone company installs new computer-based switching equipment. This is going to be structural. This new equipment is taking over the job that the person used to hold, so that's going to be structural. A worker quits his job to move to a new town to be closer to his family. Here's the key right here. If it's the worker's decision, it's going to be frictional. A carpenter is laid off because high interest rates cause a decline in new home building. That's that underlying economic condition that is going to be cyclical. And a homemaker seeks work outside the home and begins looking for work. That will be frictional. All of the answers here are for you, so you can kind of look at them and review on your own time. There's a